Hi, I'm Elaine and welcome to my kitchen. Well, today I'm going to be cooking some of that pork that I got at the Nahunta Pork Center. If any of you watched my video that I did yesterday where I went and bought this pork. So we're going to go ahead and get started with these country ribs I'm making. And I'm also going to be making a homemade barbecue sauce to go with these. So I'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, now I have lined a 9x13 baking dish with aluminum foil, and I'm just going to start laying these country ribs. These look really nice. Just laying these in here. And it looks like that I'm going to have enough of these easily to do 2 meals. So I'm going to freeze, I'm going to fix this half, and then I'm going to freeze the other half. We'll enjoy that another time. All right. So now that I have these in my pan, I'm going to add some salt. Just kind of rub that into them a little bit. And we're going to add some pepper. Good shaking of pepper. All right. And then I have some of the smokehouse barbecue seasoning that I'm going to throw on here as well. Just a little bit. And I'm only doing one side of these, so that should be plenty of seasoning for these. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover these with foil, and I'm going to bake them at 1 hour at 350 degrees, and then I'm going to turn my heat way down and let them go at 225 degrees for a few hours, because we want to cook these kind of things at a low temperature, just low and slow. So I just bring it up to 350 long enough to get them to start to cook, and then I turn the heat down. And so I will be back with you shortly, and I'll show you how we're going to make the barbecue sauce. Okay, we are ready to start the barbecue sauce, so let's get this going. Okay, so and this is a heavy saucepan. I am going to add 1 cup of ketchup. I'm just going to throw that in. This sauce is really easy to make, and it is so good. It's so much better than the bottled stuff you get in the store. Okay, and to that we are going to add a cup of lightly packed brown sugar. We are going to add 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. Let me get this started mixing a little bit to help get that sugar to dissolve. Okay. Alright. And we're going to add 1 teaspoon of a hot sauce. Whoops, I dropped it. Whatever brand you like is fine. I'm using Texas Pete because that's pretty readily available here in the South. You can use whatever brand you like, and that would be fine. Okay, and to that we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. So let me get that out. Here's a 1/4 teaspoon measure right here, and we're going to add those in. Okay, and then we are going to add 1 teaspoon of ground mustard. So let me just add that in. Okay, there we go. There's 1 teaspoon of ground mustard. And I did say ground mustard, the kind that is in a powder form. I didn't. I just happened to think that might have sounded like I said brown mustard, and that's not what I said. So I want to clarify that. Okay, and we are going to add 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, which I have right here. I'm going to just put that right in. This really will make the taste of this sauce. It makes it, gives it just a little of that spice. Get the rest of that. There we go. Okay, and we're going to add 3 tablespoons of molasses. Let me grab my tablespoon. Wherever it went. I didn't get it out. That's where it went. Okay, sorry about that, people. Okay, so I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of molasses. You can also use honey if you don't have molasses, and honey will work just fine. It just won't be quite as deep a color as this will. Okay, so I'm going to scoop that out of there. And we're going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of white pepper. Let me get my quarter. That's a 1/2 teaspoon, so we're only going to use half of this. There we go. And we're going to use 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And there's our ingredients. And I will be listing these ingredients below in the description for you so you can make this yourself. And really, all we're going to do, I'm going to switch over to a whisk real quick. So all we're going to do is whisk this together. Then I'm going to put this on the stove and bring it to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it uncovered until it is has reduced in volume by about 1/3. So we want to really get this reduced down and thickened, but I don't want to use any kind of thickener, so we're just going to reduce it on the stove. So when this is ready, and is ready to brush on those ribs that we got started over there, I will be back with you and show you how to do that. Okay, the sauce has reduced down, and I just wanted to show you what we got. And you can see how that looks, and it coats a spoon very nicely. Now, as this cools, it's going to thicken up, but right now it's just about perfect. So that was reduced down by 1/3 in volume. It took probably, I think it took probably about 20 minutes to get it to this point from where it was the first time. So I've always just kind of eyeballed that, and when it got where I wanted it, I turned it off and never really timed it. But anyway, that is our sauce. So when that is done, I will show you how we're going to put it up, what we're going to do when we put it on the ribs. So I'll be back with you after a while. Okay, my ribs have come out of the oven, and you can see how they look. They turned out really nice. So at this point, I'm going to take that barbecue sauce I made, and I'm going to spoon that over them. Just like that. And put plenty of sauce on here, and this sauce, you can see, turned out really good, nice and thick. It does thicken as it cools. Okay, and I'm going to take my pastry brush, and I'm just going to kind of brush that over and around. And get those all coated as evenly as I can. Alright. Now the next thing I'm going to do is put these under the broiler and just let that brown a little bit, and when I get them done and get the rest of the meal done, I'll be back with you to show you what everything looks like. Okay, everything is done, and here are our plates. I have some, I made some fried potatoes, and this got a little bit of onion in it. And there's the ribs, you can see how they turned out, and some green beans, and that's going to be our supper tonight. And I do thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and give me a like. And also you can put something in the comments. I do enjoy reading them, and I do try to respond as soon as I can. So again, have a great evening, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.